Yeah, try some water.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Cause we do like sips and stuff. So I just want you to have something on hand, ready to go.
Mm.
But we'll go ahead and get started. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the My Virgo Friend podcast. Your host CheChe, and hope your day is going well. I have another host with me today, Shanell from the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. Shanell, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making time.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and get started with the My Virgo Friend podcast. You guys know we always start with our breath work and our sound bowl healing. So Chanel breathing in through the nose and we exhale fully through the mouth for 4 breaths. Okay. So we're breathing in, y'all. Inhale. And let's take a sip. Cheers. All right, you guys. So like I said, we have our guest, Chanel with the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. So, Chanel, again, welcome for being here. And I just want to open the floor with just getting to know you. If you don't mind, just tell us about yourself, plug your podcast, and anything else you want to share with us.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Chanel. I live in Boston, and I am the host of the Black Hippie Lounge podcast. I've been doing that for a little over a year now, and so it's a self-care, self-help, mental health podcast. I have a couple guests on there. I try to do weekly episodes, and it's my focus is just definitely on the Black community and making sure I can get out any information that I can to our people
Yeah.
learning self-help and mental health. So yeah, you can definitely find me on Instagram and all social media. You can listen to my podcast on Spotify and Apple, iTunes, and other platforms too. So yeah.
May I ask what your why story was? Like what the motivation and driving force was behind starting the Black Hippie Lounge podcast?
Sure. So I last year I started listening to podcasts like for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the time, like I didn't really realize it, but I was starting to go through my spiritual journey and like healing and just becoming a different, like a better woman, you know. So
Yeah.
um, at the time, I was just like listening to podcasts, and I'm like, I can do this too, you know. I have a lot of information to share, so I just basically started doing my research and like I just made my first episode, and then from there, I just was like into it, and I just started keep going, you know, and just like setting up interviews and just trying to keep it going really.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I launched mine last year too. I started in quarantine during, Corona time when everybody's at the house, like, shoot, let me do something else,
Right.
So, with me being a Virgo with that mercurial mind. And also, I meant to ask you, what are your sign placements? Your big three? Do you happen to know those?
Yeah. So I'm a Virgo Sun, Scorpio Moon, and a Sagittarius rising.
Nice. Very okay, cool. So we're in Aquarius season, you guys. So with the zodiac season we're in, we're usually feeling that energy and the elements. So with Chanel being an Aquarius rising, she may be experiencing Aquarius season on a more intense level compared to someone that doesn't have any
Oh,
type
I'm
of
a
Aquarius.
Sagittarius rising.
Oh, you said Sagittarius. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you said
It's
Aquarius.
okay.
My bad. Okay, so water, moon, fire rising. Okay.
Yeah.
Which sign would you say you resonate most with?
That's a good question. I feel like as I've gotten older, maybe more Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do have my Virgo qualities too. I'm saying
How
more.
so?
Yeah, Virgo and Sagittarius.
How so I'm interested in well, I do want to get your understanding on like all your big three placements and like how do you identify, like can you pick them out and like how you carry yourself and stuff?
Um. Yeah. So they say the rising is how you present yourself, right? I think so.
Yes.
Um, I think Sagittarius, like I can be pretty outgoing and I can be pretty adventurous.
Hmm.
I do kind of get bored easily of things, and like I'm kind of all over the place a little bit sometimes. But at the same time, I do have my Virgo qualities of like being kind of organized and like wanting to know exactly what's going on and like knowing all the information and kind of analyzing a lot. So yeah, and then for the moon, it's Scorpio. I think I'm still learning a little bit more about that. But I know that's like that controls your emotions, and I guess I am kind of like that when I've learned that Scorpios can kind of hide their emotions, I guess, in the beginning or something like that. So I definitely think I have that quality too, because I do kind of hold back on my emotions until like
Yeah, like if in my understanding, like or Scorpio moon. First of all, I want to say Beyonce is a Virgo Sun Scorpio moon.
oh,
So
okay,
hey,
interesting.
you've got the Beyonce energy in your chart. But like my interpretation of a Scorpio moon would be like, of course, it's a watery moon because I'm a water moon. I'm a Cancer moon.
Okay.
So, of course, it's that watery, sensitive, intuitive, compassionate, emotional center. But with Scorpio, they're ruled by Pluto, like Lord of the Underworld. So, it's like having those deep, intense emotions, but you may be reserved in expressing them. And in regards to like just giving yourself more time to kind of investigate and just get more information and get, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say that's me because like I feel like once I get the emotions, I'll still try to like figure out, what they are and what they mean. And then once I express them, like it's overload. Like I'm just gonna I'm just gonna be like, super emotional, super loving. So like I really have to make sure before I give these emotions that it's the right thing.
Yeah. Would you say you tend to cut people off? Because I heard
Oh
that's a Scorpio
yeah, oh
trait.
yeah. Yeah.
When you done, you done.
When I'm done, I'm done. There's no going
Oh
back. Like no.
no! Oh
No, I just can't. Like, it's funny because like any past relationships, like I don't have any issues with them, but
no! Yeah.
I have no. I don't understand what's the point of me still interacting with you. Like, there's no.
Yeah.
What's done
We're,
is done. Like,
we're done. Yeah.
yeah.
That's one thing I love about Scorpios. They're just kind of like straight to the point because I attract a lot of Scorpios. And shoot, that's so funny. I attract a lot of Sagittarius too. So
Mm,
it's hilarious that you're a Sag rising because my first guest, she's a Virgo Sun, Cancer Moon. So we both share that same place. And I was like, yeah, girl, I tend to attract a lot of Sagittarius and Scorpios. And then you got the moon and the rising. That is so cool. In regards to like compatibility, which do you have a particular sign or element that you're most drawn to?
that's a good question. So, uh, mm, to be honest, like I would say right now I'm getting to know a Sagittarius.
Hey,
Yeah, and it's been interesting because this is the first, well, it's like the second fire sign that I've dated, but I don't know, it's different because I don't know, they're just kind of like all over the place a little bit, but they have so much energy and just like so much, I don't know, like adventure, and like it's just curious to see the different things of them. So
yeah.
definitely I feel like keeps me on my toes,
Mhm.
but I would say, yeah, that's like I've dated earth signs as well. Like I've dated a Virgo.
Oh, how was that? I've never dated a Virgo, being a Virgo.
I
I
would
heard
never.
it's a no-no.
I would probably never do that again.
I heard it's a no-no.
Like,
It's a hard no, ma'am. It's a hard no.
like I just can't. Like I don't know if it was that, if it was him, or if it was just like a clash of. I don't know. I feel like being with another Virgo made me realize certain things about me too. Like, okay, dang, am I like that when I'm dating someone? Like, and I'm like, all right, never mind. Let me try to like make sure I do a little bit better. Like I don't know. It was just like the emotion part, like not very emotional, and just very critical. And I'm like, yeah, like, dang, this, you really are a Virgo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, yeah, I
Ooh.
probably would never do that again.
Yeah, I've never had a relationship, a romantic relationship with a Virgo man. So I don't know what that's like. I've been with Capricorn and Taurus, but not Virgo. And I
Okay.
heard that's like a oof.
How was it with Capricorn?
Capricorn, they like long standing relationships. So my high school sweetheart, he was a Capricorn. So we was together for like three and a half years. And yeah, it was really nice. It was consistent. Like we mainly just broke up, like, going off to college, that whole thing. So But yeah, I liked it. It was nice. But then again, like we have to consider like with our relationships and compatibility, like our age and the time frame in our life. Because like if you meet somebody before your Saturn return, it may have a totally skewed, perspective on like how you really interact with them. Are you familiar with that Saturn
No.
return?
Mm-mm.
So, okay, so you're familiar with like your big three and like the natal chart, the planet placements and stuff. So your Saturn is also going to be in a zodiac sign. So my Saturn is in Sagittarius. And I want to say for Saturn, they move like every 12 years, like every 7 to 10, 12 years, something like that. Um, and when you go through your Saturn return, that's basically when you're kind of challenging the structures in your life and challenging like, man, this is what I've been told I need to do, but I really want to do this shit over here. So like they say you shouldn't like necessarily make any big life-changing decisions before your Saturn return. And your Saturn return, that's usually going to hit between like age 25 to 32. I want to say like the end of your 20s, early 30s. And like they say you like don't make any big life-changing decisions. So getting married, like if you don't have to get married, maybe don't get married because you may get married for one reason. As you're aging, you're growing, your Saturn return hits, and it's like shit. Like I don't even like this type of person because now I'm realizing who I really am. So maybe choosing a career also. Somebody starts off, with a career or a job that turns into a career, and then by the time they hit the age gap where their Saturn return is, it's like, oh my God, I'm a creative and I don't want to sit in a box. I don't want to go to a consistent work schedule. I want to be able to make my own hours. Or maybe you thought you wanted to be a creative and an artist, but you realize you just don't have the structure and you do need a 9 to 5 or something that has a little more stability and structure. So yeah, Saturn return. And it just depends on what year you were born in when it will fall into. So it's usually like, a big gap of like 7 to 10, maybe 12 years.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very cool. And I can recall when I went through it. So um like yeah, you guys, if you're listening in, like if you're over the age of like 35 or whatever, you should have experienced it by now. So just think to like the years when you were like 25 to 32 and
Okay.
what was happening.
Okay. That makes sense.
hmm but yeah. Oh, I got off on a tangent. But I was saying how I started my podcast as well with like during quarantine and Corona and stuff. Did that have like a little effect or impact on you starting?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I live alone, so I was just home more, and I was just like, all right. It definitely gave me more time to focus on the podcast and like to be able to be more creative with it.
Mhm.
So I would say it was around because it was in February, so it was like right before like the lockdown and like everything like that. So yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
like perfect timing.
right, yeah. I found it to be a little bit therapeutic too, though. Like to be able
Right.
to do that.
Yeah, because whenever quarantine started, or whatever, I before quarantine or whatever, I did not like FaceTime. I didn't go live. That just was not my thing. I didn't want somebody just looking at my face. And like it was so funny because growing up, that was like always a joke between me and my mom. Because like when I was a baby, I used to cry when people used to look at me, and like when I eat, like still to this day, when I eat, I'm still a little self conscious. I don't want somebody watching my mouth. It's just like a little insecurity for me. It is. So I just didn't like FaceTime, and I just didn't want somebody looking at my face in real time and me not knowing how
Yeah.
they feel. Or, what I'm saying? I just found it to be awkward for me. And so I started, once quarantine hit, people started going on live more often. So everybody's like going into little rooms to see where everybody's at. And my friend, he started going live. And the second day I joined this live, I jumped on his channel. Then I was like, shoot, man, I'm gonna go live on my page. And like I went live and I kept going live on Instagram for like 52 days straight. And
Oh, wow.
even on days where I didn't feel like it, I did it. And it was just helping not only like so many people, but for me, like, because again, I'm a Virgo Sun, so like I have that Mercurial want to communicate, want to help people, want to understand people energy about me. So just getting on live and people joining in, and just conversing about how quarantine was affecting them, and just keeping each other uplifted and encouraged and stuff. It was just really therapeutic. So to kind of shift gears from doing like Instagram lives to podcasting. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
2020 we kind of plant the seeds, and now 2021 we're like a
Yeah.
blaze of glory.
Yeah, I feel like that too.
So what are you looking forward to this year in comparison to 2020?
That's a good question. Definitely to keep growing, to work on accomplishing more goals for myself.
Yeah.
Um, and definitely to I would say just really taking control of my life, like the things that I want and going for what I want, and not settling until I get what I want, and in various departments, whether it be relationships, work, just anything. Just I'm definitely continuing to work on myself, but just definitely looking to accomplish a lot of goals this year. So
What would you say your definition of spirituality is?
feel like spirituality. It's a good question. For me right now, I feel like I'm still learning about the spiritual world and like how to be in tune with yourself. But I feel like spirituality for me is just like right now, I try to have as much as a calm presence as I can for myself, and try to exude peace to others, but also learning to be understanding and also knowing that like you're not always going to be happy, to allow myself to go through the different emotions. I feel like spirituality is definitely trusting in the universe and trusting in God. Like
Yeah.
when things happen and like understanding the shifts and like understanding how things work and why you need to learn certain lessons. And I feel like the more spiritual you become and the more in tune you become with yourself, like the more it can get a little lonely, because you are like, if people aren't willing to do the work, then it just doesn't work. And I feel like I'm definitely learning that with relationships too. Like if I'm doing my self-work, but these guys are not doing the self-work, then it doesn't work. Like
what is we doing? Because we're not, you're not gonna hear me.
No, you're not going to understand me. No matter how much I explain myself, you're just not going to get it. And I feel like until you put in that work, and it's not easy and it's not something that's like overnight, but
Yeah.
you got to put in the work. Like,
and I feel like once you've put in the work, you have a greater respect for people and their boundaries and their healing process, Are you familiar with shadow work?
A little bit, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, or what would you like to what do you know about it?
I only know a little bit. I've heard of it a little bit on like on Instagram and stuff like that. I'm thinking, my understanding is it's just like getting to the bottom of like maybe childhood traumas or just like like that stuff like that. I think it's definitely important because I feel like it can help you understand why you make the choices that you do as adults, and why certain things might trigger you or why you respond a certain way. I think that shadow work can be kind of frustrating too, because it's like you gotta it does take some accountability and just like you have to,
that's fun.
not only do you have to like take accountability, you have to like almost reparent yourself. I've seen that too, like a lot of reparenting.
Literally.
Yeah, so it's kind of tough, especially when you catch yourself, falling into habits that aren't great or like responding in a way that is not good, and then having to shift yourself. Like it's definitely a lot of work.
Yeah, because like you guys, what we're talking about is shadow work. So basically my understanding, shadow work is just like Shanell said, getting to the root of any unhealed issues, trauma, and that could go back to your childhood, your upbringing, your environment, and just the conditioning you experienced that brought you to where you are now, which may be affecting your relationships and how you go about your life. So like she was saying, it can be very uncomfortable. I know for me, like with me going through my spiritual journey still to this day, because it's like never ending. I feel, I've been going through it for years, excuse me, going through it for years now. And it's never ending. There's tears, you're crying, you're, snot out the nose, Viola Davis style, snot, crying, tired, sleepy, depression, hills and valleys and anxiety, good days, bad days, good days, bad weeks, bad weeks, bad weeks, good day,
Yeah.
bad week,
Yeah.
hills and valleys, shedding friends, shedding family members, finally forgiving yourself. Like I literally have to affirm, I forgive you, Cheryl. I forgive you, because like I feel like we're growing up, right? And as children, we're like, living our life, minding our business, being curious, being happy, making friends, not taking life so seriously. And then an unhealed adult, comes and projects their insecurities onto us, projects their fears onto us. Oh, don't be friends with that person, that type of people. Don't go out and do this. Don't strive to be this type of person. Or, they limit us.
Right.
And, they condition us to not speak, to not use our voice, to not be curious, to not, you know what I'm saying? To not test those boundaries. And they limit us. And I feel like over time, we kind of gargoyle into like those children. And that's why we have grown people acting like children, acting like they're in high school, because they probably had a defining moment in high school, in middle school, whatever, where someone made them feel this big. And now they just feel like they only have permission to operate in that.
Right.
You know
No,
what I'm
I
saying?
agree. Yeah. I think it's also like lately I've been doing a lot of meditation and like learning more about chakras. And
Yeah.
I think that kind of like what you talked when you talked about like certain things, like definitely learning how to use various chakras and how certain childhood things can like block those chakras, like your throat chakra or your heart chakra. Like those,
Yes.
yeah, like I've been learning more about that, and like even learning that certain chakras that I have that were blocked for me that I didn't even really realize it. So it's just like learning how to tap into that too.
Yeah.
It's definitely good.
Absolutely. Like for me, because you hear I keep clearing my throat. Apologies, you guys. Sorry. But like, and that's another thing with FaceTime. I feel like I have to yell the whole time because it's like bad connection compared to just a voice call on speaker. I feel like there's just more work I have to do on FaceTime. But like Shanell was saying in regards to the chakra, that's a great way to just stay in tune with yourself. For example, with my throat being sore, I know that my throat chakra is probably being overused or just not being taken care of as good as it should be, or if you're feeling insecure about money and about your foundation, maybe your root chakra is a little, imbalanced. Or if you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm not open to love, I'm closed off to love, maybe it's your heart chakra that needs
Yep.
which chakra would you say you have to take the most care of or keep the most in check?
Right now I would say throat and heart.
Right. With doing the podcasting?
Yeah.
Same Z's.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I gotta like gargle with salt water now. And like, cause I don't know if you looked at my page, but I dance. I go to like dance classes and stuff, and like I love the energy. Like going to dance class, like heels, stilettos dance classes, it's so therapeutic for me. I love just feeling, just energy, just moving and feeling sexy and feeling sensual, learning new things. My little Virgo mind be going crazy, like, oh, I'm about to learn something new and perform. What? So I love that energy, and I love seeing other people just get into that like comfortable element and just like living their life. And when they finally just get better, and like I love hyping people up, and I'm like, yes, I just love screaming. So like now I'm at dance class, I'm like, oh, I can't be yelling like that now, child. I gotta, say my voice. And I'm also a personal trainer, and I love like, you can do it, like cheering people on. And I'm like, damn it, I can't be yelling at y'all. I got a podcast. I gotta save my voice, y'all. I can't be yelling at y'all like that.
Right.
I gotta slide it in real quick. Like, hey, I got a podcast. Yes, I'm like, damn, I gotta like take care of my throat more than I'm used to, And also, like, I agree with you with the heart chakra. I just feel like I'm doing this all the time. Like I'm always wanting to do like a spinal twist or a back bend or just something to open this up. And I think it's because not only am I sharing so much of myself, I'm also getting it a lot from people, because they're like, oh my God, you're resonating with what I'm thinking, and oh my God, that shit is hitting. And I'm like, pouring, and I don't know, it's just a lot that I'm giving now in regards to starting this podcast. So I'm glad you share that too. Right. To understand, you get it. So in regards to like pursuing the podcast, what's been like the most challenging things in regards, like what has it been consistency? Because like that was what it was for me. Because I started in like I took the course in March, launched it in May, and then remember like in June, all the stuff with like George Floyd and like all the senseless crimes and stuff. It was so damn heavy on my heart. I just took a break from it from June until like the end of November after Thanksgiving, and then I came back with it. So just
Yeah.
finding that consistency was so hard for me. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I would say the consistency, because it's like you're balancing work, other things too, and still trying to like come up with a topic every week to discuss.
Yeah,
But like, I also don't want to just talk about any random thing and just do it half. I want to put in the right work for it. But
right.
I definitely had like a little bit of a hiatus too, where I just like took some time off to kind of regroup, really,
Yeah.
and practice like self care.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I definitely had some time where I took some time to myself, because I felt like I'm not gonna do an episode if I feel like the topic's not that great or I'm not into it. I don't know. I feel like I want to be excited when I'm doing the recording, and I want to be into whatever I'm talking about. So if that means stepping away for a bit and not recording, then I have to do that. I would still try to like post like motivational quotes or something like that on my page and kind of like keep listeners informed. Like, I'm not completely gone. I'm just taking some time for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot because, like you said, you're giving a lot of yourself. You're opening up a lot about yourself. So then you're also receiving a lot of information. Then you feel like, okay, now I got to keep giving more of myself. So it's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
a lot. But yeah,
What's your
definitely. I think it's important though to take that time to yourself whenever you need it.
Oh, absolutely. Like to recharge, because like we've seen plenty of times people don't listen to their body and they pass out or they like dehydrate or
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Their body just literally shut down and give
yeah,
out. So
right.
you don't listen, God will be like, hey,
Yep,
down now.
exactly.
What's your go-to self-care, like your faves? Like I'm a water baby. I love taking me some bubble baths.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I love to sleep, take naps.
Samesies
um,
from 2 to 4 in the afternoon.
yeah. Yeah, I love naps. I'll listen to music. I love listening to music.
Same. I got some classical piano in the background. I don't know if you can make
Yeah,
me
I
feel,
love listening. Yep,
rich.
listening to music. Even like working out, doing a workout would
Mm-hmm.
definitely help me clear my mind. Like I just recently got back to working out, so I think that definitely helps me. Even journaling, like writing things down, uh,
Yeah.
when I can. Um, and I mean, obviously, depending on the weather, I love to go outside and just like be outside, especially like in the summer. I love being
Ooh,
outside.
yes.
Yeah.
Is
'Cause
that your favorite season, summertime?
yeah, definitely. I
Mm.
live in Boston, so the weather is trash here during the winter.
Oh yeah, you did say Boston. Ooh. So
It's super cold.
yeah, but at least y'all got the fashions.
Yeah, true. I'm not a fan of cold weather at all.
Samesies.
Yeah.
I'd rather not shiver. I'd rather sweat
Right,
than shiver.
right. Definitely. Definitely.
I'd rather sweat than shiver, child. Ooh. Yeah, like going since starting podcasting is I've realized the value in journaling and just writing things down. Cause like I said, how we kind of get away from ourselves growing older. Because like growing up, I used to write stuff down all the time. Like us Virgos, we love school supplies. Like
Yep.
a planner? What? I love
Yeah.
shopping for planners. And like I used to write on every single page, even if I like already went through the month, I would go back and just write something on it just to fill up all the pages and like get the cool little colorful gel pens, and just practice my penmanship and whatnot.
Right.
Use the stickers up, you know what I'm saying? Like I love planners. And like growing, going through college and getting lazy and more like, getting away from yourself. So like starting this podcast, it just really helped me to like come back to little CheChe. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I remember what she's like. And
Yeah.
And like going back to the defining moment, I didn't tell you, but when I was younger, like maybe fourth grade or whatever, my computer teacher, it was this older man. And I don't know what I was saying. I guess I was like a chatty, inquisitive child. I was that student that would be in the front row, in the middle, asking questions. Cause damn it, I got questions, and I know my friends in the back got them too, but they're not gonna ask, so I'll ask them then. And I don't know what I said to him, but he bit down because he was tall and slender. He said, "Shut your little teeny mouth." And that thing hurt my feelings so bad, Shanell. And I went back home and I told my mama. She laughed and thought it was the most funniest thing in the world. And so that thing just like stuck with me for like a long time. But like since I stepped into podcast, it just allowed me. Well, going with the IG lives first, I guess it just helped me to like kind of break away that, that shell I may have like built over the years, that insecurity, of not using my voice. Because it's so important, especially in today's time, for women to speak up more,
Definitely.
and just take up more space and be in positions of power, just, assert themselves more.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Going for what you want, not settling.
Do you have any experience in regards to like needing to be more assertive, or are you pretty solid in being an assertive woman?
Uh, I
Because I
feel
know.
like now I can be definitely way more assertive and like go for what I want, but definitely growing up, like I wasn't always that assertive. I was pretty quiet, chill. Um, and I think just certain experiences, definitely like college, like when I was finally on my own and like learning how to like navigate through life. And then like in my 20s, I definitely like when I was in my 20s, like when I was 24, I moved to Atlanta. Um,
Mm,
and I was on my own and just like really discovering like who I was and who I wanted to be.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of where I began to learn to be more assertive and just having experiences that forced me to be, stick up for myself and to really like as of now, like I can say I can stand in who I am and I don't try to conform for anyone. I just do what works for me. And like
yeah,
I think that's a great feeling to have as a woman, especially as a Black woman, to just own who you are and like stand in it,
yeah,
so I think it definitely takes time,
yeah,
to
for
get
sure.
there and take experiences, but once you're there, it's like you don't want to go back, like
Yes.
yeah.
Do you have like an experience you can recall where it was just like that moment of like a light switch of like, I'm not taking this shit no more? Or
Mm,
where you just felt like utterly disrespected by somebody that you
mm,
recall?
let me think. I mean, hmm. You know what? Honestly, like my last relationship, like the way at first I was like, so at the time I was in school for my master's degree. I still am in school, but that was like my first semester, and like I was so focused. I was such in like focus mode, like just doing school. And I was doing my thing. Like I was working. I was like, just juggling everything, but still like being a good girlfriend too and everything. And then
Yeah.
when the relationship ended and the way the person chose to act afterward, I was just like, you know what? Fuck that. Like, like if that's how you want to be, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, I don't have, like, I feel like I just became like that person. Like, I don't have time for this shit. Like, if
Yeah.
that's what you want to be, like, that's on you, like I have to stand and do what works for me.
Absolutely.
And I learned to like, not just, and even still, like, I'm still learning now, but definitely standing in it, like, don't take anybody's shit. Like if somebody wants to, they don't let anybody project their problems on you. Like
Yeah.
if these people don't know how to open their mouth and speak on whatever it is, then that's not my problem. Like now I very much am like, it's a personal problem. I'm not taking on people's problems. Like I
Yeah.
got my own problems. I don't need to add on to it with somebody else, like
Yeah.
so I just realized like to really stand in who I am and like be okay. You have to also be okay with being by yourself and like being
Come on.
okay with like, all right, if what this person won't do, someone else will. Like, and
Yes.
like there's like so many you can have what you want. You just have to find the right people, the right avenue for yourself. And like
Yeah.
also you have to believe that you're gonna get what you want,
You can't manifest what you don't feel worthy of.
right. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, manifesting, but also just like having faith in it and
Yeah.
and it literally will come to you at the right time. Um but yeah, like, and now I'm just like, I I have like a calm demeanor about me, but I just don't take anybody's shit. Like I just don't have time for that. Like I don't need to, you
Yeah.
know? Like I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm giving you like peace and like compassion and like being, being there for you. If you can't do that for me, then forget it. Like I don't need to be around you, you know?
Yeah.
That's for any type of relationship, whether that's friendship,
Okay.
like romantic, whatever. Like give what I'm giving, you know? Like if you
Yeah.
can't reciprocate, then why am I gonna allow you in my space? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
In hindsight, would you say that was like your self-sabotaging behavior of like staying too long or taking
Yeah,
on other people's energy?
definitely. I stayed in that relationship too long. Like and it's funny because at a certain point I knew I should have left, but I think I was still coming into the person that I am now, where it's just like it's okay to walk away,
Come
to
on.
like, because I feel like sometimes as women we don't walk away when we know we should. Like we try
Mm,
to still hang on and like, oh, okay, well maybe if I like explain this or like show this, like no, like we have.
no.
I feel like we as women have to understand. We have to give guys more credit. Like they know
What
what
the
they're
fuck
doing.
they doing?
Yeah, they know what they're doing. They're just gonna, all right, if you want to be that person to still hang on, like they're not, who are they, they're not gonna tell you, oh no, please go, like they're
Yeah.
gonna still reap the benefits of whatever. So you have to be okay with like saying, all right, being assertive and like, hey, look, this isn't working for me, what you're doing, this needs to change. And then if that person still doesn't do it, then all right, cool, forget it, like.
Yeah.
But it's hard to do that, especially when you want the relationship, you want that, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And Virgos, we have a habit of falling in love with potential too. And want to help and
Yes.
fix people to death.
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
we do that?
I have no idea. I hate that trait.
We're so annoying.
Hey, I don't want to heal anybody else. Like I don't want to.
Hey,
I'm
look,
done.
the price went up. Hey,
Right.
don't ask me
Right.
no more.
Right. Yeah, we do. I feel like definitely like in my 20s and stuff,
Yeah.
I was picking people who I would recognize like, dang, this person, they need, like you need to heal a little bit, but I'm just like, oh, I can change them, or I can do, but now I'm like, nah, you gotta change yourself. Like you gotta heal yourself. That's not my job. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So definitely recognizing those red flags too, and like knowing that, I don't know, it's just, you gotta know what you deserve, and
Yes. And being clear on what you want too.
right,
Because people settle because they like, okay, well, if you don't want this shit, what do you want? I don't know.
right,
Well, okay, if you know what you don't want, that's cool, but you need to be clear on what you do want because you're not gonna allow yourself to be open to that new, better thing when it presents itself to you because you're not gonna be able to recognize it.
right.
So like people just gotta get clear on what they want and like you said, just be okay with being alone and trusting that it's gonna get better and trust that they're worthy of more and deserving of more.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like nowadays, like I talk to so many women our age, and it's just like I hate to hear like people just like, oh, like they just kind of give up on dating and giving up on love, and like, you know, I know it's hard. It's definitely hard because it's hard to find someone who's just like, I don't know. For me, I'm just like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like once you hit 30 plus, like there's certain things that you should not be doing anymore, and it's just
For
like,
example.
oh my gosh. I mean, the list goes on. It's just like, I just feel like you come across these guys, at least I have, where it's just like, you say you want this type of woman, but then once that woman presents themselves, you still playing games, or you still like, oh, I don't know what I want, or you're not able to express yourself. Like that emotional availability, like that's a key thing that you need to have as a partner. And I feel like a lot of guys just don't have that, or they don't want to tap into that.
Yeah.
And you have to also realize that being in a relationship is gonna shed light on things that you have to work on within yourself. And it's like, I feel like sometimes if someone has that happen to them, they'll run away from it instead of just like, okay, well, I can work on that about myself too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. And like you said, knowing what you want, like guys have to know what they want too. It's not just the women who have to know. Like, you got to know what you want too. Like, if you want a relationship, go for a relationship. If
Right.
you want to just play around, play the field, then do that. But do that with people who want to do the same thing. Please stop wasting
Exactly. Because
people's
they
time.
out here. They
Yeah,
out here.
like stay in your, like basically stay in your lane. Like if you want to play, find women who want to play too. Like
They
don't.
ain't playing fair.
Yeah, come on.
Dibbling and dabbling and things.
Right. Yeah.
What would you say is like, are you, because you said like you've been doing your podcast and you've been interviewing different people and things. Have you noticed like a shift in regards to how men and women interact with each other? Or have you noticed like any new trends in regards to like dating and just anything that comes to mind?
Mm, I know that like right now it's all about social media and like dating apps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I don't necessarily knock that. It's just like I feel like with that it could be a hit or a miss. You know, like
Yeah.
either you connect with someone or you don't. You know, especially now with COVID and stuff. Like I'm sure that's like the easiest way to meet people. But again, I feel like it's what's the intention behind it? Like, are you just using the apps just to hook up with people, or are you using it to actually find someone and like connect with them and create a relationship? So um I don't know, man. I've heard some stories too, like like people, you know like someone using an app and like meeting a guy and they say they want a relationship, but then they're still really playing around. So it's just like you have
Mm-hmm.
to take that time to really get to know people and see. I feel like their actions will show what they really want versus their words. You have to be able to match it up and really study people and pay attention to what they're doing, what they're showing you.
Yeah.
Um, because it's tough. It's hard, especially with so many apps and social media and so many ways to meet different people and like
To conceal any information.
yeah, yeah, I feel like it makes it easier for people to go astray and like
Yeah.
yeah. So there's so many options for them. So
And everything like porn is everywhere. Like the fact
yeah,
that people say Twitter is like some of the best source for porn is like, really? And like if you type this certain stuff in Google, image search porn. So it's
hmm
like everywhere. And like, I don't know, it's just a lot more conditioning in regards to like sex with like the population, not even just men, but just like women too. Just everybody's just like hypersexualized, and much sooner, like with the kids and the youth and stuff,
right.
compared to like generations ago. So I don't
hmm
know, that may be like feeding into the I don't want just one. There's so much out there.
That yeah, and I feel like it's like this whole instant gratification too. Like everything is just right there. So why should they have to wait or work for it? And it's just like, come on, like
That's what I wanted to ask you too. Because I feel like, with guys not coming up or not making as much of an effort, some of the women have to take some of the blame with that too and not expecting that. And it's because we're not expecting that of them because we're not expecting it of ourselves. And we're not expecting it of ourselves because we don't understand our value and our worth,
right.
and then wonder why we end up in these like toxic ass relationships or stay longer than we should because it's like, girl, you don't even like you hadn't even come to the realization that you don't even deserve this. Like, so we have to make that's why it's so important, you guys, to like do the shadow work, like Shanell was saying, and just continue to assert yourself. Like for me, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do like one word a year. And like 2 years ago was development. Last year my word was assertive. Cause I'm like, people pleaser energy. I like to say I'm coming out of the people pleaser energy, being a, Virgo sun, Cancer moon, mother moon. Come on now, baby, let me take care of you. Let me take care of
Right.
you. So yeah. And then my Pisces rising, I just want to create and be free and all this shit. So
Yeah.
I'm just realizing like, no, that just doesn't work. You need to make sure you pour back into you because people will take you if you let them. I mean, that's human nature, ain't it?
Right. Definitely.
People gonna do what you let them do.
Exactly.
What's
Yeah.
been like, okay, so your biggest lesson learned thus far, just in life in general,
Um.
something that sticks with you.
Hmm. Uh. It's a good question. I would say to always, no matter what, always look out for you.
Come on.
Because, like, at the end of the day, only you can make yourself happy before somebody else can. Like, you have to basically teach someone how to treat you and how to, like,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, I would say just look out for you and all aspects of life, and just like you're always your number one priority, because
Yeah.
nobody else is going to take care of you like you, especially as an adult. Like, yeah, as a kid that's a little different, but once you're an adult, like, you're responsible for you in all aspects, whether it be like your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, like your emotional health. Like, you got to look out for you all the time, whether that means like cutting people off or just like whatever you feel you need to do. And whenever you do those things, like, don't feel like you have to explain yourself to other people. Like,
Yes.
if I say that this no longer serves me, then it just doesn't serve me. I don't have to, explain why.
Because, like, what energy does that communicate when we explain ourselves?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And protect your energy also. Like, if you recognize that someone, what they're doing and what they're bringing around to you is not working for you, don't be around those people. Like, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to protect yourself, because you don't owe anyone anything. Like, you only owe yourself. So, like you said, you only get one of you, so you have to take care of you,
Yeah.
uh, in all aspects. So, yeah, definitely, I would say that's one of the biggest things I've learned, is just like to look out for me all the time, and be happy with who you are too. Like,
Yeah.
it's not always going to be good, but um just be happy, be proud of yourself, like, speak to yourself in a positive way, love yourself, like, just keep loving yourself,
Yeah.
um keep growing, um yeah, and just speak highly of yourself, and speak positivity into yourself,
Yeah.
um yeah, that's really, because, like, once you, I don't know, it's just like, I feel like once you, like we talked about earlier, like, once you go through that spiritual journey, and like, it's always going to be a consistent journey, but once you hit that point where you're just like, I love who I am, I love where I'm at, and like what I stand in, it's just like that, it'll show, you know what I mean? Like, it'll attract the right people, and like, it'll show, like, when people, they'll just pick up on your aura, and like, you'll just, that makes you feel even better. And once you keep, you want to keep working on and doing what you're doing to get to where you are right there. So, I don't know, it's just be happy and be at peace with yourself, and to always try to have that good energy about yourself, like, no
Yeah.
matter who's around you, like, just be you and just be happy with who you are, really.
Absolutely. Because, like, people have literally given up and chosen, suicide, or just to, be stuck,
Yeah.
and not live life all because they can't face the truth or
Right.
forgive themselves or have self-acceptance and stuff. So
Right.
I agree with you, girl. Like, especially like coming out of this people pleasing energy. Like, Sherelle, you can't be waiting for everybody else to
No.
see their value and their potential. If you're ready to go, you need to go.
Right.
Like, you really can't, not live your life because you're waiting for someone else to realize their potential, or you wait for an apology. That apology may never come. That
Exactly.
acknowledgement may never come. That love may never come. So you have to do it for you, because
Right.
everybody else worrying about themselves. They ain't coming to save you.
Exactly.
They trying to save themselves,
Exactly. Exactly.
regardless what they tell you. I'm here if you need me. Shit, they trying to be there for themselves.
Exactly. Especially nowadays, it's like everyone is dealing with so many different things, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you definitely have to be. I don't know. It's just like, be, obviously, still be kind to others, and like, and be considerate of what they're going through, but make sure you're considerate of what you're going through too, and like,
Yeah.
out for you, take care of you. That's like,
Absolutely. Oh, and going back to what you said in regards to like explaining yourself too, because I realized that too. Like, Sherelle, stop explaining stuff, because I'm like, Virgo. I want to be detail oriented. I love details. I'm sure you love details too. So when I'm explaining something, I want you to understand why I'm doing it. So please don't take it personal, because I did A, B, and C because of A, B. It's like, girl, no. If you're a good person, so do other people. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain your intention. They know how you move, and if they're going to be misunderstood, let them be misunderstood. Trust the truth will come out, or trust eventually they will see, but let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. Because when you're explaining yourself, you're just giving them more opportunity to poke holes in whatever your defense is. It's like, oh, because I don't want to be late. Well, no, you ain't gonna be late, because if you go ahead of time, they'll just find those arguing points if you give them all that. So just say, thank you, respectfully decline. I won't be there. I won't make it. Don't tell me I'm gonna try to make it. Damn it, you coming or you not? Just tell me you're not coming and just show up and surprise me if there's not like a limit or whatever. Don't tell me, oh my God, I'm gonna definitely come, because you don't want to hurt my feelings.
Right.
Say no and be okay with that. Right. I don't want to come because I'm tired. This is my only day off and I want to be home. I don't want to come,
Right.
So people just be so scared to hurt people's feelings. And like I was telling somebody this weekend, like, you feel how you feel. Your intention is not to hurt somebody's feelings. Your intention is to present the facts. I feel A, B, and C. I'm done with this relationship. I want to quit. I'm traumatized, whatever. Present the facts. And then they determine if they want to freak out, agree with you, cut you off, love you in return, whatever. Their response, their reaction is going to be theirs. That's on them to figure out how they want to process this, But don't go living your life unhappy, unfulfilled, because you don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. Hell, they may be just as bored as you. They may be just as unfulfilled as you, but just don't have the courage to pull the trigger. You may be the one that need to pull the trigger. Right. You may need to be the one to leave, because not everybody can read your mind, but also not everyone is growing at the same pace, so you may have reached a point of, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. They may agree with you, but just not at that growth level to do something about it. So exercise your power, y'all, and be assertive, and stop explaining yourself, and stop apologizing.
Yeah, definitely. Stop apologizing too.
Oof. Good gracious.
Yeah.
What you apologizing for?
Right. No.
Let people figure it out.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, that's a good one too. Stop apologizing. Stop apologizing.
Like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and people know who you are. If you got a good heart, if you're a good person, so do other people. You don't have to keep explaining yourself. You don't have to keep proving yourself to other people, trying to prove a point. Whatever. Take care of you first. Always take care of you. Stop running yourself ragged all because you don't want somebody to think you're not loyal to them because you missed one event, or you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Overextending yourself.
Yeah. If they're, like you said, if they know who you are, then they know, you can't be everywhere. You can't do everything. Like, you're a human being. Like, you got to look out for you.
You can't be everything for everybody.
No. No.
Well, Shanell, any last words before we let you go? I know you got things to do and whatnot.
Sure thing. No, I definitely enjoyed this interview. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
Oh, this was good. I liked it.
Thank you. What projects do you have coming up? What you want to plug? Tell us again about your podcast and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So you can find me Instagram at Black Hippie Lounge. And that's where you can also, on the link on the page, you can find where to listen to the podcast as weekly episodes. I'm still doing weekly episodes right now. I have some interviews that I have coming up too. And yeah, I feel like right now I'm just trying to figure out what's the next step for the podcast. So looking forward to continuing on with it,
So, well, cheers to that. Cheers to our 2021 and our podcast taking off. All right. So you guys, like Shanell said, look out for you. Be assertive. Let your yes be your yes. Let your no be your no. Shanell, can you leave us with one word? Just one word to lead to like.
One word. Word that comes to mind is love.
Love.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it starts with us, you guys. It starts with you.
Yep. Love you. Yep. Just love yourself and love others. Like, don't limit your love.
Allow the love too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Accept your compliments.
Yep. Yeah. Accept the love too. Yeah.
Take the damn flowers.
Yep.
That's what I tell people, like when I compliment somebody, like, oh my God, I love your hair. Oh, thank you, but it's freezing. I'm like, take the damn flowers. It's like
Yeah.
you're putting them right back in my face. I'm like,
Right.
oh, thank you.
Right.
That's what I like to tell people. Take the damn flowers. Just say thank you. You don't have to give me a compliment in return. I'm not one of those people,
Right.
fishing for compliments. Just say thank you and mind your business. Keep on moving.
Right.
Well, thank you again, Shanell. I appreciate you. And oh shit. And you guys, you already know you can find me on Instagram at My Virgo Friend, My Virgo Friend Podcast. Also at CheCheBabe, CheCheBabe. Send me some questions. I want to start reading questions, giving advice or whatnot. So send me some emails to CheChe at myvirgofriend.com. Again, follow Shanell on her social media platforms. Subscribe to her podcast. Show her some love. Share this podcast with your friends, with your family. Let it play again if you already heard it for the first time. Maybe take some notes for the second time. But yes, you guys, thank y'all for your love and support. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And again, thank you, Shanell, for your time. Bye, y'all.